You want to know about the Gambian entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
Ngali yendeo kwa nyulle nata ka musicolu kidimandi nyulle nata ka artisolu kidimandi nyulle nata ka jado ganyandi nyulle nata o ka jololu fanam fintindi Facebook oto YouTube Facebook oto ngoyko YouTube Gambia Talent muna promotion lem Gambia Talent muna promotion ngonde jaworode maribunga wate buna nge jubele wate buna nge la moile wate buna nge la kuomila Gambia Talent woy ngoye julle nata oy kantol kidimandi kantol sewondi kantol nganyandi Gambia Talent buna Gam Talent woy awali Pausman Ju inimba.
Turn by turn, everything in life is turn by turn. Brother man, relax and wait for your turn. Everything in life is done by God. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jizzle on this. You're now watching Gambian Talents TV. I'm representing all day, every day. Don't move. Keep it locked. You're done.
Edition of the GAM SHOWBIZ in Focus. I am your host KALILU BANJA on your favorite online TV platform, the Gambian Talents TV. And tonight I have three distinguished guests, Sirfo Kanute, the son of Bana Kanute, the great balafon player, BUBA KUYATEH, and KIRSTIN MOFFAT of the BMAT Innovations. Welcome to the program, my guests.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, BUBA, how are you doing, BUBA?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet you, bro, and great idea to be here.
Okay. Kanute, you are muted, Kanute. I think we are losing Kanute a little bit. Kanute, how are you doing, brother? Your mic is muted. Your microphone is muted. Can you take your earpiece out? Your earpiece? Kanute, we are not hearing you. Take out your headset. You take out your earpiece. Ne? Kanute, I will advise you to take out your micro. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, you are okay now.
Am I okay now?
You are okay now. You don't need to use your headset. Your headset will interrupt the program. So calm down, grab your seat and make yourself comfortable. If you have water, put water beside you and then you are good to go.
Brilliant.
Okay, thank you so much. We want to go to the program proper, and like I told you before, this is the GAM SHOWBIZ in focus. We are trying to find solutions with regards to the creative industry of the Gambia. And the last 2 months, I was able to bring a lot of stakeholders in this particular platform to discuss about the developments taking place in the music sector of the Gambia. We had the Director General for National Center for Arts and Culture. We also have the Director for Performing Arts, Literature and also Fine Arts, Mr. Sek Omar Jallo. We had even you as a representative of the then Musicians Union of the Gambia, because you were the Secretary General, and now we have a new executive committee who are running affairs of the Music Union of the Gambia. We also have BUBA. BUBA is all the way in Poland. He's a great kora player, and I think tonight he's going to entertain us with some kora music. I just had some friends of BUBA who directly connected me on Messenger to ask me, if BUBA would be tonight on this platform. They are all the way in Poland, and they are waiting to hear from BUBA and some of the piece of kora he's going to play. So BUBA, I just want to inform you, I got some messages from some people from Poland. They said you're doing good music. We are very much happy and proud about that. And tonight also I have KIRSTIN MOFFAT. KIRSTIN MOFFAT is the Africa Regional Coordinator on behalf of BMAT Innovators. Is a monitoring copyright system that they do with regards to copyright enforcement and at the same time royalty collection and things like that. So we're going to start with KIRSTIN, for KIRSTIN to give us a little bit overview of BMAT and what they do, and how we will be able to integrate that into our system with regards to what is happening in the Gambia. So KIRSTIN, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, KALILU. Well, hello everyone. As KALILU mentioned, I'm KIRSTIN, and I'm the African Regional Manager at BMAT. And what BMAT does is we monitor and report music across televisions, radios, venues, and digital services globally. We can tell you when and where any song is being played, and we provide the metadata that describes who owns the rights to each track. Our music service aims to provide a neutral source of data available to any party involved in the value cycle. So this pertains to creators, producers, publishers, collective management organizations. We started out as a research spin-off at a university in Barcelona. We're a group of engineers and musicians, and the whole goal was to bring transparency to music collection and to help people understand where they get their money from.
All right, thank you. And how do you normally do that? And the most important question also is, how many countries in Africa are you doing that right now? Which African countries have entered into partnership with your company?
Yes, so African is very much under, the region is very much under development. At the moment, we work in Botswana, Angola, and Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. So what we're doing for them is we're monitoring broadcast and some venues, and this is TV and radio. We monitor the televisions and radios 24/7, and we upload their content and we create fingerprints, and they're able to see live identifications of their music within about an hour on their own dashboard. This helps the society move away from irregular payouts to their artists. So this is a pro royalty payout system. They're able to understand everything from a very low level to a high level, and this contributes towards their quarterly distributions.
Okay, and then the systems that you are providing, which kind of systems are you providing? Is it a control mechanism for radios and television stations?
Well, so essentially, what the technology that was designed at BMAT is a special proprietary fingerprint. So the CEOs, Alex Loscos and Pedro Cano, they designed different fingerprints that could listen to different mediums of music. So this is durable to songs that are played on radio, songs that are played on TV, which has interferences of background noise, people speaking. We're able to listen to music in clubs, and this is, of course, we need to be very adept to listening to modulations and time, etc. And what we do is we send a piece of hardware to the hosting society, and we constantly pick up the FM signals of radio and likewise for TV.
Okay, that is very important. And then how do you enter into partnership with countries that want to forge ahead with your program with regards to the Gambia? As I inform you, we don't have a collecting society available in the Gambia at the moment. But again, we have existing collecting society organization, which is the CSG. But again, they don't have any tools. They did not start collecting royalties, and at the same time, they're finding it difficult to get these systems. How can you forge ahead with them?
Well, it's in each African country, it's very different. So often we have a direct relationship with the society. So we're the direct business partner. In some countries, we have a local partner who helps us implement the system. I suppose in Gambia, it would be a complete direct relationship. How we start is we need to get all the local content. So this would start off by retrieving data and audio from local producers, local labels. We find out who all the musicians send their digital, who their digital distributors are, and we start. It starts with a content acquisition plan, because our monitoring system is only as good as how many fingerprints we have, because it's fingerprint based. Thereafter, we design a panel of radios and TVs, and of course, you know, in one African country, there might be thousands of radios, thousands of TVs, but because it's not a cookie cutter kind of situation, we can view the system by starting with the top 10 TVs, top 20 radios, as per how much revenue they pay for their licensing. And from then on out, the society can download the data directly into Excel form. We have an API, so if they have an application, they can actually host this data on their application or website. And this is a really nice tool, because it, of course, there's a lot of transparency issues with paying royalties traditionally in the music world. This really shows the artists that the society knows, you know, who to pay.
Okay. And then the prerequisite with regards to what I'm understanding is the registration have to be done first with the collecting society, whereby the fingerprints will be issued by your company, and then in that way they can be able to identify those contents that are provided in the Gambia.
Yes, yeah. As long as we have a live content feed with the society, and we know which TVs and radios to record, and we're doing this 24/7, then we can make this immediately available to the society.
Okay. So do you have an analog system or a digital way of monitoring this? You can do both or only digital? We
do both. So the easier way to do it is via picking online streams, recording online streams. However, with the dynamics in Africa, what I've learned in many countries is that there's less digitization. We also have less control over online streams. So at BMAT, whilst we do everything from BMAT, so if there's a team who can pick up the stream, what we can't control is if that stream is changed or if it goes down, it happens often. So what we prefer to do is we configure a piece of hardware, it's a small computer, and we send it to the host country. And this allows the society to have more control over the recordings.
Okay, that is very important. We will come to you, KIRSTIN, again, but again, I just want to introduce my guest also to you. Mr. Kanute, he will give us a little background with regards to traditional music in the Gambia. Kanute, we know your father was the founder of the Gambian National Troupe some years ago. and he was a great balafon player. And at some point, he even helped the Senegal national troop, he and some of his colleagues. And then we know the home of the griots, Kanutekunda, has been, a place where ballet dance was also introduced. You have a lot of susus coming from Mali, and then, Ivory Coast, and then, even Senegal coming to Gambia, and then they live in your father's home. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and then your family and a little history about this griot tradition?
Thank you, Khalil. I must thank you for welcoming me on this platform for the second time. My father, the late Alhaji Jalibana Kanute, as you just mentioned, was being able to be part of the pioneers of the establishment of the Sorano in Senegal. Then from there, he moved back in the Gambia and replicated that kind of setup in the Gambia too, which was the Gambian national troop. From there on, he went on to get his own personal troop with his wives and relatives, and has a ballet group which I was dancing at the age of 7 back in 1987. I was a ballet dancer, Susu ballet dancing. Okay, and the entire family brought up in the griot way of, a griot style of performance. I started from which I'm still playing, which is a legacy of our grandfather, Balafo Madi, that is Jalimadi Kanute, who came to the Gambia and settled where he's the one who established the Gambia legacy. All right. So being a griot is a very important thing for the fact that it all started back in the ancient empire of Manding, commonly known as Mali Empire. So the empire of Manding is where the griots were being performing. The great emperor Sunjata Keita, before he became an emperor, when it was time for his late father, the king Farahoro Mahan Konate's inheritance, he declined all the wealth left by the king. He said he wanted his father's griots. And then the people were so surprised. They said, wow, how can you be taking care of, or the guardian of the griots when you have no wealth? But then it was so funny that when griots come to ask for, to come for performances, he will definitely have to give them something. There was an instance, he went into the bush to hunt and brought it to them. The other time he went and fetched some honey from the bush because he was poor. He didn't take any wealth from his late father's wealth. But just to tell you how he was trying to encourage the griots, he has been giving them rewards anytime they perform in his house. There used to be national festivals, annual festivals in the empire. But then his brother, Dankaran Tuma, was the king by then. But then Sunjata's house used to be the most lively house because of the performances of the griots. The entire kingdom will just go to his house to watch the griots perform. So that was how he has this fame amongst the people. So he was becoming powerful because of the griots were being able to be attached to him, and then doing performances in his houses where people come and watch the shows. So he was most likely the king instead, which was definitely because of the responsibility of the griots. Another important occasion was that for the role of the griots is when Karantuma, his half-brother, decided to send the ancestors of the Kuyates, called Balafasige Kuyate. Balafasige Kuyate was used as the main tool for communication, because he's the one the king will send to another kingdom to discuss alliances or other businesses. So you can see that being a griot wasn't only about performance. It was also an act of social, an expert in socialism.
So
an
you are
expert
talking
in social
about
relations.
communicating, a traditional way of communicating, raising awareness, and then sending information from one place to another. So the griots were doing that through music.
Exactly, through music. And as personally being attached to kings, they are always in the king's court as advisors too.
Okay.
It's the griot that has the oral tradition of the former kings, and he knows their ways of, their strategies of governance. So he will be advising. He will be advising a present king who he is been attached to about how he should be governing his particular kingdom.
Okay. So then how do you come to study the balafon from your father, and then at the same time, cementing on the knowledge of the kora also, because I can remember you can play the kora as well, and then you are also a great songwriter, because if I am allowed to say it, I was aware that some of the songs that were produced by Sona Jobate, some of them were composed by you. What can you tell us about, that knowledge of composition, being an author, and at the same time, playing music?
Yeah, thank you very much. But about the balafon part, how I came to learn the balafon. My late father has never given me any lessons.
Mm-hmm.
He will only advise me when I was a small boy, go and play. So we would just go and make noise. But as time goes on, as I grew up, I was being able to build more interest in the instrument. At first, I used to be shy because, I'm a modern boy. This is for ancient people. So I don't want friends to be seeing me playing this thing. But as I became mature, I was being able to focus on the balafon after he passed away. That was when I started listening to his old tapes and learning his songs. That's where I started from. So that's how I developed myself in self-rehearsals until I became a proper balafon player. Of course, I had an opportunity of performing along well-known balafon players called KUYATEH, who was in my mom's traditional band, and I was being able to get some accompaniment from him too. So about composition and seeing it's a gift or kind of something. I've been working with Sona Jabari for quite a long time, and she is the most amazing musician you can work with. She will do her lyrics in English and will ask me to get it
in Mandinka.
In Mandinka for her, which becomes so. It is not an easy something though. May not music or in a particular bar of music. You understand? So I will have to do give an alternative word, for instance, to fit in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So it is some most of the songs she writes, and I will do Gainako. I was being able to be the one who has written it, and Banaya, and then I did the English, both the English and American version, and I sang on Banaya too. Yeah.
What about
it is a work that that isn't easy but for her.
What about Gambia?
So, about Gambia, yes, exactly. Gambia too. Yes, the Gambia song we wrote it together. She called me and told me, yeah, I want to sing about the Gambia, but I don't want to say, to sing about what everybody sings, smiling because people are freelance. So Gambia is more than that. Then we started sketching it out. When I had the song, the beat that she created, then we started to and the melodies that she had. Then I started to work on the Mandinka relic, you know, come like if you can see the first verse will go like Kairayano, Tenkuya Benjirwani to Telejia, you know, Karale Bankunilo, huh? Yirwani to Tayajia. Yes, you see? Hadamaya, Gambia. So it was more poetic, you know. It's talking about the Gambia. Sewe mo nyadalu ben, sewo, happiness full on everybody's face, you know. So it was an amazing. It is amazing working with Sona. So it's more like a gift, though. Not everybody can do such. You can speak Mandinka very well, but then musically to fit it in a piece of music is something else. Yes.
Exactly. That is important. Therefore, I know, you know, how do you also work with your brother Jalimadi Kanute, because I think it's your younger brother and from the same family, and so yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Jalimadi used to be one of the finest wall of rappers in the Gambia. But then at some point when I was working on my song, the African Union, Gambia, Africa, and Nyonane, I introduced him into singing in Manding because I told him this is the way. Yeah, this is what belongs to us. You are a fine rapper and everybody is cherishing it, but then you have to look back to your roots. And he didn't on the song and gave him a verse. Then he got it. He got it going, and we are so proud to have him as one of the most successful musicians in our family and the Gambia as a whole. And also, yeah, presently he has been giving me some. I have given him some lyrics on some of the songs recently. When he has got anything that he wants me to write, he would just send it to me and say, bro, yeah, I want you to help me with something with this. Then I would just do my part and send it to him. Then the rest he will finish it himself. Yeah, I'm working with him now, not full time, because it is only on occasional that he will be sending. He will be requesting for help also.
Yeah, you know, I am an advocate for musicians, especially, you know, the griot musicians, and not only the griot musicians, contemporary music. But I understand to the fact that I have seen quite a lot of music families. We can just go one step out of the Gambia. In Senegal, you have Youssou N'Dour, you have Bouba Ndour. They work together. Bouba Ndour is on the technical side, and Youssou N'Dour is doing the music. So, and for you, I can say you are one of the most, what can I say? What will be the word? Your backing as a backing vocalist. You know, when I see you backing Sona Jobate, or I see you backing Jalimadi sometimes, you know, it's just like an icing on the cake. So I was thinking that Jalimadi having you behind him will make him more bigger, you know, and then, you know, we can rate him to Salifou Keita and people like that. You giving him the inspiration with regards to the lyrics that he needs to sing. And you have more traditional, you are more affair to the tradition, because by the time your father was leaving this world, by then you understand your left and right. And Jalimadi was very strong. So I could remember some of the traditional songs you used to explain to him that, oh, this is what my father explained. So what do you think about that?
It's a brilliant idea. He's got his management team and production team, and like I mentioned earlier, I would only come in when he needs my service, and I will always I'm always ready to do that. Talking about having a whole collaboration or a partnership or a group of the two of us is another amazing idea which we can look into. Yeah, definitely. and it can be a whole family setup of production that everybody would cherish.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sirifo. We will come to you again. BUBA, before talking to us, I just want you to give us a little introduction of the kora by playing the kora, because we missed that. We missed someone playing the kora live when we are on the program. I don't know whether you are going to play Miniamba or you are going to play Jalia or whatsoever. We want to hear the strings. We want to feel the music before talking to you and for you to explain yourself.
Thank you. Mobile de da canna Cantoli ala dia fo Way bunya bale bije Gambia wale adiandi moya bale bije Gambia Way wale adiandi Jele banku di mabalena We smiling cold Manja ki bije fullo bije saratulle bije Jola bije mandinga bije surwa bije balanda ulbe mukilineti kankilenti fue malongo wale adiandi Manja ki bije fullo bije saratulle bije Jola bije mandinga bije surwa bije balanda ulbe mukilineti kankilenti Afo wale adiandi.
Thank you, BUBA. Thank you so much. Kora Diata Bake. The Kora is just beautiful. The 21 string. BUBA, you are KUYATEH, and then where do you come from, and how did you enter into the music scene? I know you are a griot as well. And then I was told that there was a time you were working with KANUTE as well. Yeah, together. So I never knew that you two were working together. So can you tell us something about that?
Actually, I'm BUBA BADJIE, but I learned kora from my stepfather, which is called KUYATEH, my late stepfather. And I was brought up from him from I was almost 2 years, and he married to my mother, and that was the time he grew me up, and he started to teach me kora from the family during this time. And so most of them people who they know me through him, they call me BUBA KUYATEH, but I'm BADJIE. But that's why I use these two names, BADJIE KUYATEH. Because this
so
is
you are BADJIE.
Yes, I'm BADJIE.
And you are a Jola.
Yes, I'm a Jola.
Wow, great. Yes. And then your namesake was KUYATEH, or yes, your stepfather.
Yes, my stepfather, but originally I'm from the griot family because my mother is a griot.
Okay.
And this griot family as well. I born from griot family like Jalkunda from Alhaj Bai Conte family. And this is what I brought up there, and I was alongside my brothers. They were playing band Taradinding and Pabobo.
Okay.
And I brought up from home through with them, and then they have band, family band, so we were youngest brothers following them. And during this time we were listening and how the music is developing. So during this time, I was playing balafon in the band with Pabobo.
Okay.
I was a balafon player before Kora. But
Okay.
Silvo is my master, you know.
No, Silvo is Master Balafon because I mean his father was the greatest
Yeah.
Balafon player in the Gambia. So there is Fenne Bije mbitama nika kaolala because
Yes.
Fenne Bije mi alonoko traditionally
Uh-huh.
Gambia Molman Karamu sort of, we don't have a music school.
Yes.
But there is this opportunity that anyone who comes from a traditional home have the advantage to play one or two instruments.
Exactly,
So
yes.
abokole ko, you know, mbuka kumbo bake manana kumbo la bake because na mol soto le milala no ko ika ning kosir laun karano suo kono de mfon la suo kono. So
Yes.
how important was that for you before traveling? You know, how do you work it out? How do you get the knowledge? Do you go to Sirifo and Sirifo show you some skills? Or sometimes when you think it's necessary, you go to Pabobo and Pabobo give you some skills. How do you do it?
Okay, the way I did it, I mean, it's like I was playing with the band with Pabobo, and I was a balafon player. That was my first instrument, yeah. And then I was playing with the band, like, you know, I was second balafon player. In fact, the first balafon player was Haruna, you know, Haruna Jassi. He was my boss, and through Haruna, I was just listening. I was don't have just teaching, like, you know, some teaching classes. And so it's Delkunda, so we know the groove of the tracks, everything, you know, some melodies, yeah. And so during this time, I try to learn it by myself, and then I talked to my stepdad that I want to have a master to learn basic one, and he bought a collar knot like in Africa, like we do, yeah, you know, and he brought me to Salon Kuyateh Craft Market, behind Craft Market. And
In Bakau or Senegambia?
no, Birkama.
In Birkama, okay.
Yes, in, like, you know, Silfo, I think Silfo knew him. It's like, this is like, he died, you know, I think 3 years ago, 5 years ago, something like this. And he was my master of balafonists. And then from there, then I play with the band with Pabobo, and after I started playing koraf, my stepdad started to teach me, because as well my mother is a great singer, you know, and well known in our town, you know.
What's the name of your mother?
Tutti Conte.
Tutti Conte. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I was young to know him. Yeah, maybe I'm
Exact-
young. Maybe Stilfo knows him very well.
Yes, Silfo probably, yeah. And then he was singing, and I was choral player for her and her sisters, yeah. And we go to the naming ceremony. This is how we survive as a Jalkunda. And there's no other job, so we play music and earn. So I spent time with them the time I was learning Kora, to play these traditional songs, you know, to go to Jalia, like you said, and Bani or stuff like this, because we all begin in like traditional way. And during this time, I started to create my own band called Nyodema Band. As well, you know, my brothers, they are musicians as well, like family band. And some of my friends, they are bass guitar.
So you are telling us that you had your own family band, which you created before you traveled to Poland.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And then during this time, and I was in a band called Sofa Nyama, which is Sankun Jobate was creating this band.
Uncle Sankun Jobate in
Exactly.
Sweden, in Norway.
Yeah, from Norway, yeah. And Sankun was kind of my teacher for many situations in musical way. You know what I mean? Because in Gambia, it was not a music school, like, you know, to go to music school, like to know D major, B major, you know, something like this in music, yeah. So it was Sankun who was trying to show me, and you have to play this G major through his guitar, and I don't know what is this exactly. So I try to listen to him and to follow him, what he means, G major on his guitar. So I try to find it on my Kora to find it what my kora, which string is G and which string is D. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the beginning you did not understand that. You did not know any. You have no knowledge in music theory. What time?
No more for ham no back in that anyway, because it's
so
like
Uncle Sankune Makoi, music theory explain here for you understand. Do re mi fa sol la si do iba play no la kora to nyame.
Exactly, yeah. So he was showing me that, because he was showing me a traditional song, my stepdad, and this is how I played this song, and this is how your grandfather was playing this song, because they were all students of my grandfather, my stepdad, yeah. And he has different style, and also he was one of the best kora player in his generation in different side on his own style. I mean, because he's playing 24 string. He was one of the guy who was popular in playing on 24 string kora.
So we have kora in 21 string. So your grandfather was playing 24 strings.
No,
Kora.
my stepfather, KUYATEH.
Okay, your stepfather.
Who taught me how to play kora, I mean. So, and he has different kind of style, So me, I was playing, he taught me different style, but after I met Sankung, and I was started to play very good traditional style and many of, but Sankung was telling me, please, Infanding, like, can you try to play your own style, maybe it's better for you because you play like, my cousin brother, like Tuman from Mali, and people think you play like similar like him, but of course it's very good, but I think it's better you try your own way of your style on kora. So maybe this can give you more opportunity in music than to copy somebody. And that was very good advice for me and from him. And I was visiting him many times to Kembuje. Me and him, we play kora and guitar, acoustic guitar, to rehearse alone. So I get a lot of things from him, during this time. And so during this time, he told me, okay, you have to find Soriba Kuyate in, which is playing kora different style, not like, in Gambian style or Malian style, but it's the same kora,
Ibe karangan kora player bal fananale understood in through the way other kora players play Tumani Soriba Kuyate. So ike lamwe la kaseto ika ole lamwe dan ika play nyami.
Yeah, I was listening to Tumani and I was playing like similar because music is only true about feeling from the person, yeah. So I was trying to play like similar like him, and Sanku was advising me to try my own style. Of course, Sorba Kuyate also was playing his own style, which is very beautiful. But it is like, if you want to have a space in everywhere, you have to find your own way. I mean, get your own space, Because if I want to play like Tumani, the world, everybody know him, they know his songs already, which is popular. So before they will take him, before they will take me, and they're going to take him first, yeah, example.
Exactly.
So this was that's why I try to find my own way. That's how I start to create my music and stuff like that, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We will come back to you, but Kanute, before we come to you, we will go to KIRSTIN so that KIRSTIN will leave us. He's going to leave us in a while. KIRSTIN, I don't know if you are set to give us a little presentation with regards to how your things work. Can you be able to do that?
Well, I don't have a visual presentation, but I can I can open something. Maybe give me 2 minutes. Come back to me in 2 minutes.
I can come back to you in 2 minutes. Okay, no problem. So Kanute, Sirifo Kanute,
Yes, Karl Marx.
Yeah, Sirifo Kanute, we want to talk about the Jalekunda family. We want to talk about traditionally. Hello? Yeah, are you hearing me now, Kanute? I guess I'm hearing you. I don't know whether you are hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so we just want to talk about the traditional.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, we just want to talk about the traditional culture of learning, the traditional instruments like the kora, the balafon. How do you people manage to do that within yourselves, within the Jalikunda family? Because we don't have a popular music school. We don't have um, an, an academy of music, or we don't also have a curriculum in the Gambia where you can typically go and learn music. So how do you learn from each other? What were you doing?
All right, thank you. Learning instruments, is, I must say, has to be, you must have a great capability of listening. Most of the time, it's not the eye contact that will have to help you to know the keys.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be the ear.
Mm-hmm.
So traditionally, I was told that my grandmother, Ajakuna Dia Sakiliba, when a baby is born in our family, she will do what they call katuloso. She has means of doing something into the ear of the baby. In that sense, this baby will grow up understanding the sound of music.
Okay, so that gives you a proper hearing, like when a
If we
kid
see
has.
somebody singing out of scale, and so it's because it's this traditional rite that my grandmother used to perform on us in order for us to have this understanding of music. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So called kumbengo. It's
Okay.
called the kumbengo. You have to learn the kumbengo. That is the you have to know how to accompany somebody when you're performing with somebody. When performing with somebody, you have to know where to play to avoid any distraction in performance. Kumbengo. Then you will move on to jinkandiro.
Yeah, jinkandiro, like a kind of a follow up.
You understand? If you know the jinkandiro, then exactly. The correspondence, you will be able to know what if another person is playing this particular scale. I mean, this particular area, you should correspond the other way. But you both shouldn't play on the same area, but you will correspond differently, and there wouldn't be any distraction, which is the jinkandiro. So from there on, you will be taught how to do the biriminting instrument, the solo.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing the solo, you also have to know that if you do the solo, you go all into the scale without missing the point. You should come back directly into the music without missing. So that is called birimintingo. So traditionally, the most important way of doing, learning an instrument is the ear. Like I mentioned, from my father's old tapes, I listen to them and I try to play it from the hearing it from the tape player.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So is to transfer the knowledge from one generation to the other. Younger ones will be learning since they are young. So when they also when they grow older, they have their own kids. They also transfer it to them. So that is the home is the basic school where we started from. There is no modern school where we have to go and start from.
Exactly. Kanute, that is very important, and we will come back again so that you and BUBA can be able to share that in depth. That is the hearing skills, the brimintune, and then corresponding, and then putting all those things together, and the solo. So you will talk to us about that in depth later when we talk to KIRSTIN. KIRSTIN. We want to come to you again, KIRSTIN. to give us a little bit info with regards to BMAT. Yeah, innovators. Do you want to share something that the public will be able to understand? Typically, what you do and around Africa, and then probably if we are to enter into partnership with you right now, what are some of the things that we will enjoy from your company?
Okay, sure. Well, I will. I'll share my screen, and I'll give you a very short demo of the software that collecting societies use when they work with us, as well as entities. I mean, our data is it's useful to many parties, publishers, labels, entertainment companies, and they use it for A&R purposes, business decisions, etc. So there's really a very wide use case of the data. But can you see? Can you see my screen?
So I already accepted your screen. Yeah.
Okay,
so that is the Veracast.
Yes, so this is BMAT's broadcast reporting tool, and this is what we've built to show the data to our clients. And well, it's a very easy, dynamic dashboard to understand, and we built it for that reason, so that societies know exactly where the music is playing and when. So it'll show you in the first section, it shows you all your top artists. We have tracks. We do worldwide monitoring, so we're picking up plays in different countries. We have the labels and the channels which are available. One is also able to actually get very granular information on particular artists or songs. So this Afterglow Ed Sheeran song, these are the channels that the song has been played on over the past week. We have corresponding metadata, like which label it comes from, what type of music. We have the ISRC code, which is very important for the neighboring rights. And here, what we're really credible with at BMAT is that we give auditable and visual proof. So on the left here, this reference. I won't press the play button because I'm not sure how loud it'll be, but the reference here, this is the fingerprint that we've created. We don't exploit the audio in any way except for our fingerprinting. And on the right, we have the match. So this is the actual broadcast from the 30th of January at 7:20.
Okay.
Yeah. We monitor adverts as well. So we're able to associate music with a brand and a product. And due to machine learning technology, we manually tag the music once, and it retroactively fills in everything, and going forward it does the same. So this is very good for publishers, producers who want to understand where their music's being played, and also to audit their royalties. Societies might use the software to enable to pay out their artists, but it could work the other way around.
Okay. So, and then the monitoring is typically done for TVs and radios. What about clubs and bars and restaurants?
So, yes, this is a radio and TV account. So you'll see here that we have a range of channels across Europe. But yes, if we're monitoring a venue, then the account would be very similar, except here within channels, you would have venue names. So whether it's a retail store, a bar, a restaurant, it would just replace the area for TV and radio stations. Yeah, because predominantly in the Gambia, we have a very good tourism sector. And then, we call it the tourist development area. We have the TDA in the Gambia. And in this TDA, predominantly you have nightclubs, you also have venues and restaurants, bars, where tourists go to listen to music and stuffs like that. And do you think you're going to be able to use like an analog system to be able to trace those musics that are played in those areas? Yes, what we do for venues is we speculate, excuse me, we speculate with the society to understand how the music is being played in a venue, and we send small boxes. They're about modem sized, and it's in the venue, and it's connected to the sound system, and it's listening 24/7. Then that data is sent to our servers wherever they might be, and then that's where we do the matching with against the music database that we're using. Of course, we now run, there is a huge challenge because we may not have the music, and then we do manual interference. So there, especially when starting out in a new country, new region, society, our ID rate is going to be much lower than that of in the States or Europe because we're still collecting music. So we need a lot of manual intervention. It's due to the fact that in Africa, the presence of digital distributors and record labels is a lot less than in Europe and the States. So we need to actually form relationships with the musicians because a lot of them are self-published, self-released, and they send their music directly to radio stations. But from the recordings, we start to learn what's being played.
Okay, so one thing I'm getting right there is it means that registering under the Copyright Bureau, whereby you present your content, and then your content is registered. In that way, the monitoring system is easy because when they get the codes, then it's easier for you to be able to trace them.
Yes. So if we were starting out with a new society, we would ask the society to then go tell their members about us, and it would be relayed in the sense that, well, you need to upload your music to BMAT for the purposes of getting your royalties. So it's to explain that, for them to actually get any money out of it, we need to have their content. And we actually, for large businesses, we set up FTPs. And we can also accept formal digital formats like DDEX. But if an artist just wants to upload an album, then I would simply create kind of like a login, and they go on the internet, they have their own personalized user, and they drag and drop the audio, and then they put the metadata that they have into the system.
Okay, so what will you encourage? Will you encourage more DSP service providers in the Gambia? In that way, will that help to like digital service providers?
Yes, yeah. Connecting to larger entities is always easier for everybody because then we get a whole bunch of music. So if we know who the Gambian artists are submitting their music through, then we could connect directly to the digital service provider and actually save a lot of people a lot of time.
Okay, yeah, someone is saying the methodology and reality is different. Yeah, so we know, yeah, that is very true. One of my uncle is talking about that.
Yeah, but it is challenging, and that's, especially when I'm getting into new countries in Africa, it's really it's very speculative, and every situation is very unique. So this is not a system that you have perfect in 3-4 months. You really need to grow to having better content, and also to ensure that the members and the musicians in the country understand their rights and why they're doing this.
Okay. Question to KIRSTIN: how does BMAT identify non-Gambian music performed live or on radio and TV?
So at BMAT, we leverage a database of about 80 million fingerprints, and we're connected to about 120,000 sources. This is labels, individual musicians, producers. We were connected to all the major labels. So we actually, about bi-monthly, we receive all their content, and as soon as we form a relationship with someone, whether or not they're a client, they send data to us. Typically, for societies, we know that they want to track the full market. So automatically, we would assign popular commercial production and commissioned music to the account in Gambia.
Okay, but again, if you are working with a collecting society or a private CMO in the Gambia, does that mean your company enter into reciprocal agreement with other collecting societies over the world, and then that automatically includes the Gambia private CMO?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily work like that. I mean, in an ideal world, it would be nice if we started working with Gambian, we then had business relationships with all their reciprocal agreement societies. But it's each society has the choice to use whichever monitoring system they want, or to even use one in the first place. But we do want to have the content whether or not we work for them. So as we may have an understanding, for instance, when I started to work in Botswana, through recording the TVs and radios, I began to understood that there's a huge amount of South African music played on the channel. So we went and we started to retrieve a lot of local labels, and we started to create relationships with them. And now our ID rate is improving across the channels.
Yeah, we also have a similar problem in the Gambia, because there is a lot of influx of Jamaican music, American hip hop music, and also Senegalese music, predominantly on our radio and TV. What's your advice with regards to that? Do you think we need an embargo to introduce more Gambian songs on these radios and TV?
Well, so I mean, BMAT we're not particularly involved in the policies that are created around that. But for instance, what our monitoring can really help with is for the society to understand the percentage of local versus international content, and to take this data forward to whichever, legal party or to the radios, and actually say to them, hey, we know that you're playing 70% international, 30% local, and we need to change this. And with our data, we can create catalogs in the system where we can actually tag international versus local music. In some countries, for instance, in South Africa, there has been a policy that the radio stations needed to play. It was about 70% local versus 30% international, and this was, of course, to get plays for local artists and for the music ecosystem to start to boom there. And yeah, a lot of radios listen to it. But then when you think about it, if the radios if they're not monitoring and they don't know the actual percentage, then who's checking that? So our system can do that for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's very important that you talk about that, because even in the Gambia, the Copyright Act 2004, so we have this policy that 75% of music should be Gambian music. But the enforcement is the problem, because there is a little bit of hiccup with regards to enforcing this particular act. And then sorry that I did not send the new IP Act to you so that you can go through it. But again, sorry for that.
That's okay. I'm definitely going to read it. For me, each African country, I start understanding the copyright. It's very fascinating. It's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the local versus international, I mean, the radios would typically need to be sending logs to the society for them to check this. But I mean, the amount of data that they would be receiving is incredible. So to have an automated system doing this for you is, well, it'll take your manual work down hugely.
Okay. Thank you very much, KIRSTIN. I think I don't want to keep you long, because the agreement was 1 hour, and then you are almost in the 1 hour mark. And so I want to say good night to you, and then my regards to the people in Barcelona. Thank you so much for joining our program tonight.
I've learned a lot today as well. It's really great to be here.
Yeah, maybe we will have one piece of kora for you before you leave, and then you can market this instrument outside.
I love it. Absolutely.
BUBA, give us one solo from the kora, and then KIRSTIN love the kora. Yeah.
KIRSTIN, all for you today. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, BUBA. Thank you for entertaining. And then KIRSTIN, thank you so much. Thanks for passing that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, everyone. No, I'm gonna have to add that to my Spotify playlist. I hope you're on Spotify.
You're welcome. Thank you. Enjoy. Have a nice evening.
Everyone, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, choosing. Yeah, thank you, Kirstin. Kanute, BUBA and Kanute. Now, Jalekunda Sonkole Kanasi. We
Dol ko data Jalakunda Songo de.
ha dol kawle fo ko data Jalekunda Sonkoto, but bimbo sotola. Sirifo, I hope your internet is good.
Yes,
yeah, so now we have you and your brother. We are here, so we want to talk about the griot tradition.
Yes.
How do you transform this griot music now into the modern form of music? Whether you as Kanute, you are having your own records that you are promoting, around the world. That's what we want to know.
Yeah, so I have my songs on SoundCloud. That's where I usually put them. I'm not selling them. They are just for promotional purpose, and so yeah, on SoundCloud.
Okay, but then there was a period we realized that you were working with a music man from UK, and quite a lot of musician groups that you used to work
Yes.
with. Even Sankun Jobate in Norway, when he came with some of the musicians from UK, Black Moses, some from Germany and some from Sweden. You have this opportunity to work with international artists. What is the relationship? Is it because of your skills in composition, or you play the balafon better than anyone?
Um, I wouldn't say I play the balafon better than anyone, but I know I'm comfortable with what I can play. And what I believe in performance is that everyone has their own style, and everyone is a champion in their own way. So this is what I believe in performance. You understand?
Mhm.
I don't see one person being better than the other person. It's just the ability of everyone and how they demonstrate it. So I wouldn't say I'm the best balafon player, but I am definitely sure that I'm a good balafon player anyway. Yeah, so I'm about songwriting and composition, something that I am too much focused on, but I only do it when I deem it necessary or when I am needed to do it as a service.
Mhm. Okay, but again, with regards to composition, you were talking about the three aspects of learning, the instrument, and these were very, very important. We just want you to dilate on that. Is it just for the kora, or you use this in any kind of instrument that you learn, like the brimintung, the kumbeng, whatsoever that you were talking about? Hello, Kanute. I think we lost Kanute. Buba.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we lost Kanute on the way. So Buba, how do you trade your music in Poland? What are you doing recently in Poland with regards to music?
I'm since I came here, I'm doing only music. I mean, and I meet musicians and doing album with my project, something like that here in Poland.
So you are working with a band?
Yes, I work with my band. I like 6 people.
Six-man band.
Six-man band, and also trio, and also duo, like bass clarinet with kora, and also my electronical project, kind of dancing music. So I have kind of 4 or 5 projects here in Poland, which I released like a album with all of these albums here.
So all the 4 projects you are producing an album.
Yeah, all these albums since I came to Poland, I make my solo concert album first, and then after this I started to create a band, and then I record album like all of my projects now.
Wow. Interesting. And then those albums are available in the market, or
of course it's in the market. Some albums are in Spotify, and some like they produce like very good companies like from Universal, because I met nice people here, good musicians, which they are very popular here. I produce album with them, like duo, 2 people. So it's like album is in the market and everywhere somehow. All my album is produced from the company.
Wow. So in your band, in your band, typically you are the only Gambian. Do you have other Africans inside the band?
No, I'm only African, Gambian.
You're the only African, and then all the music is composed by you, or how do you do the composition of your music?
It's composed by me. I mean, I just spend time more with my music. I mean, my songs. I mean, and like anything I'm doing, I like to focus on to make it good and better. So, like, since I started to compose by myself, and it's easier to arrange my songs by myself. So when I arrange it by myself alone, so I give the rhythm to the bass players, because sometimes it's difficult for them to understand this where the beat is starting, So you must explain them each of everybody, and sometimes you must give them melody what to play.
But so you don't think that is because of the traditional? They don't have a good hearing of the tradition. No, should I say that? A good hearing of the traditional music, and sometimes it's difficult for them to get inside quickly, because you also need to eat our benachin and the domoda for you to have that. Yeah, for you to have that inspiration of our music also.
Yeah, I mean, this is very true. I mean, because the thing is, I mean, there are a lot of good musicians I'm playing with them here. And the thing is, when I start playing with them, even though they are good, but the style I'm playing, and also the way of kora, the sound and the melodies, so they see themselves like they start to learn something different,
Different, yeah. It becomes new to them.
New to them, and then
Senegal. One time we were in Senegal, and there is this technician working with Jaliba Kuyateh. They call it Jaga. Jaga ya fole ke jamfama. Ako pour yembala hopele.
Yes.
Chebu jen fatar tak. Chebu jen ko mo be ko ning ayetale. Wo chebu jen on mo domo. So I can agree. I can agree a little bit to what he is saying. Yes. So maybe wala fananka kela problem of the but yakuma kinim for me is very important. That music theory ning emo karano, but kabrini uncle sankun starta purka do koke. So ma koi pru ya understand, jita be play kan G scale mina and C scale or whatsoever. So where ma koi no nyadi le banta?
Oh my God, I cannot imagine, because I meet some musicians, like African musicians, who they even surprised how I knew that, And the thing is, when I go to the studio, because I know my instrument, some projects when they invited me, and I write like, I don't go to music school like this, sign like this, but what I learned from Uncle Sanko is like D and sub and E, and these are the same, when you go to music school in other side, So when I go to the studio with them, I put this on the something on the table, and then I just look on this paper, and play the melodic stuff on my kora to their tracks. Yeah. So it helped me a lot. And people ask me if I've been to music school in, I said, well, in Gambia there is no music school there, but I learned this from my uncle Sankung, yeah, my brother.
Yeah, I think Kanute also will say something about that with regards to working with Uncle Sankung. Uncle Kanute, I remember his magical music. Mariama Dumbia is saying hello to you, Sirifo Kanute. I think she's in Germany. She's in Germany, yeah. Mariama Dumbia, Dipakunda. Sirifo Kanute. Sirifo, are you hearing us? Sirifo.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Kanute, we just want you to tell us a little bit about your working style with regard to.
Yeah, working with Sankung was one of the biggest experience I've had when it comes to composition and performance. The way Sankung composes his music is just amazing. I've never seen anybody doing it that way. He's got his own style of composing, and the arrangements are amazing. I have learned a lot from him as a backing vocal and also as a balafon player. And sometimes he would give me the lead. I've learned my time, and I let him be the leader, and he has shown us a lot with patience. You understand? So Uncle Sankung is just amazing. I can still remember some of his compositions that we have done with Sofa Nyama band, and I really cherish them. So working with Sankung was really a big chance for us to learn a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that is important. So two of you benefited from his knowledge, and I think this is very important because we are trying to learn from the old musicians, and not only to learn from them, but also to work with them. To work with them, and I think that will help the Gambian music industry go forward, because we have incredible talent out there. And so we just need to get the wisdom from these old people so that we can work together with them closely. And then practically people like you, Kanute, as a composer, and at the same time, someone who has this vast knowledge in the traditional culture and the history behind the griot music. I think that is very important for people to know that. Not only that, also you are also an actor. Yeah, I think we need to know something about that. There was a time, when you making some jokes, I said, Kanute, you can be a very good actor, but now I see you are acting also. Interesting.
Yeah, that's true, Kalilu. It is in the family. My father was not only a balafon player; he was an oral traditioner. He does oral tradition. He plays the wall of Halam. He plays the Mandin Kaseuruba. So that versatility is what we are trying to also venture on. He said, as a griot, you don't have to be just limited to a certain area of music or performance. If you can be versatile. So performing at like I mentioned earlier at the age, but then acting is something that I started with the Abundant Theater.
Okay.
I'm just acting, and with the Abundant Theater with Auntie Janet Bajan Young, who had the courage and the belief in me, and brought me for her performance called The Fatal Mistake. That was the story about Masane Sise.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was my first stage performance as a kora player and in that on that stage. But then my first appearance on screen acting was by Ibrahim Sise. Ibrahim Sise, he was
My boss before. My boss
He
before.
also had confidence in me and brought me on screen when I have never done even any rehearsals, but he believed that I could do it. So from there on, then I definitely started building interest in acting. So most of my actions were at the theater as stage performance, but then from there, other people started until up to date that many people believe in me. I am currently working with a director called
Okay.
and he's working on a very important wall of series
Film.
that everybody would be happy to watch very soon.
Okay. So we also want you to buttress on the fact that you know you have some kind of a knowledge with regards to what transpired with your father, you know, because your father was a great content provider. There was a time he even produced some books, and then these books were available internationally, you know, predominantly in UK. And now here you are an instrumental player, you are a composer, and then you are acting as well. How do you protect your content as opposed to your father? Or are you even willing to proclaim what your father have done, and then it is out there, you know, in the public domain? Not no, I cannot say in the public domain, but you know, you think there is some kind of foul play. Will you love to retrieve those things back?
Yes,
I'm afraid.
Khalil, I am really much in oral tradition and history, and I am presently doing a thorough research on the empire of Manding epic, which I am compiling, reading a lot of books, talking to a lot of elders, and then trying to do a composition, I mean, a compiling of these stories and make it a whole story about the entire Manding epic, because not every narrator or writer has mentioned all that happened in Manding. So I am trying to do this compilation and working on something. Inshallah, when it is done, everybody will know about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Uncle Sankung is saying thank you, guys. I will give credit to Badu Job and Ifan Bonde for giving me the knowledge and discipline. Uncle Badu also is saying you are a great creator and teacher in your own rights. I think he's talking about Kanute there. Sidifo, it's very unfortunate that your network is like going and coming. We would love to get enough from you. You are a great teacher. I think you are also part of the school. You are teaching the young kids at the Sona Jobate Music School Academy with Palafo. Kanute? Kanute? Okay. Buba.
Yeah.
Kanute atakata ina yalong, you know.
Gambia, I appreciate
Italia for that. Italy ko Gambian, the more for that. So Buba, inila banola doko lafta puriya dumole wala kono. How do you you know, like ila music on you yamin doku Poland, because he have like album nani lebebulu. How do you present this music to your country? Do you have that opportunity to promote your music in the Gambia? Because a lot of young people know you in Gambia. A lot of people in Brikama. When I see your poster, a lot of people were writing to me saying, "Oh, it's our bro." Yeah. And then you can see even in Poland, you know, quite a lot of people. I told you before the program.
That's right, yeah.
writing to say if you are going to be online. And it's important that the music that you create there, you are able to. We are having two Sirfo Kanute, so I think we can only accept one. But anyway, we have to remove this one and then we accept the other one. So yeah. So how do you introduce your music to the Gambia?
Well, I mean, when any album I did here in Poland here, I try to share in Gambia with the way also force my brothers. I like to know what I'm doing as a young generation kora player, next generation, and to listen, because also it's not playing as a musician, so you just have to listen as well, and find your own way. And also I try to contact the radios to give them my tracks, I mean, and to put it on the radio to know what is going on my music, because the music industry Gambia come sambe ngalo nyamen,
Yeah,
exactly. So ya comme ça mo la Gambia music ko benyamin tending, comme ça radio to comme ça yalon na, outside country so musician no like play je back than Gambian artists also, So, but ninga fen do kujan dal, kaki radio DJ lien, any project I'm doing here, at least mom was at that sort no jele, what I'm doing, as Gambian artist or represent, something like this.
Okay. Yeah, so what is very important? What important about it? But your manager, do you have any manager? Uncle Sankunko, BUBA, keep developing your own style. It's never finished. But
you are finished. That's right. Definitely never finished. Yeah.
Your manager la musical some company radio station or done so. We want to talk about that. Your manager in Poland.
In Poland, I mean, since I came here, it's a good question, because I try to manage myself, with my music and this music industry in Poland. And of course, I get some advice, and before people will know me, I try to give myself free somehow, and to be in this environment. After people know me, then I try to control myself, everything, where to go and where to play and with who to play. So because if people they don't know me, that's mean I have to control, take care of my own career and my own environment. So this was giving me a lot of way that until to develop myself in different way that, without even manager. But of course, I get some help. Sometimes people who they book the concert for me, different side, I mean.
So you're booking agents also to okay. But how do you manage to get those projects like for album for Dio and then the trio and then a 6-man band, be managed, because that is very important, or else it can be scattered.
Yeah, I actually I mean I manage everything by myself, because it's like that, because since I came here, it was not like African musician here, like in other country, in German, something like that, or England, as an African musician. So I was first kora player in Poland, and so I developed everything by myself. I go to the jam session sometimes, and when I go to the jam session, I see the musician, and when I see the good musician, I can know which one is good, and then I invite them, selection, what individual, until I gather 6 people like this, and then do rehearsal with them, arranging with them. And sometimes it's difficult to bring everybody together. Sometimes I do like 2 people or 3 people individually, like I was doing with Uncle Sankom, because that's the way, like atelier, some people, they can stay to understand it easiest way before everybody. So that's how I was doing until I get all my tracks form, and company wanted to produce it because they like the music, because before you must send your tracks for them and they listen and they accept or not. So,
demo, we call it a demo music.
A demo music. So any demo I send is like, I get good result from it, and they produce it. So that's how I arrange my music, and I find my musician by myself. I mean, of course, some of them, they like to play with me because they want to take something from different skill, and what they hear, they want to share something, yeah. But I actually manage everything by myself. Of course, people who are advising me around sometimes. I mean,
But I don't want to cut you there. So economically, you're good.
That's, I try to
Now,
focus.
let me frame it again. I'm not trying to say that, but the music is benefiting you.
Yeah, that's only the music I'm doing since I know myself, and I learned from brothers. And since I was young, $5, $10, $15 from the everything from the beginning until now. So, and I try to create like Kora solo project, and which I was traveling to India to present, you know, this Kora music for Kora solos and all this stuff.
Yeah, model ko yung manika kaung ikomole diamani manika kaung la yalo na fo la msa diam no kaung la ha understand. So wo important about ye wo min fo wonya, but namira fanang important la priye manager sort of at some point mi yalo no ka bo be controller, because working with a record company ibe albumu produce le yedde mo sen yedde mo nying appreciate than in album. So maybe the other instrumental players will be la bano kono will fanayo music business knowledge so they can guide you. I cannot presume that na ko amantara wonya, but it's important either way. You know, you should try to get a manager whereby maybe I'm not forcing you to do that. Whereby it's a kumfirindi no puri fana doko dolke it's a kosironi kudolke. Kanute ye BUBA moela be min fokan. So I hope when we have Kanute in Poland, then
Yes,
you will be
That'd be great.
you will be the only balafon player in Poland, or the first balafon player in Poland.
Of course, yes, that's true.
So that is very important. So ilan do ke long for ilan do ke long ina do ko kenyolale, and you see the progress, and alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. That is very important that we have you know, young musicians all the way from the Gambia doing their best and working with internationals. I think that is very important. So Kanute eba mol samba kanu iko ila compositional ila music ibo wole kachaka mole aning acting. But I was also talking about you are a teacher at the Sona Jobates Music School.
Hadi sona la karambon telde ngalo ntena te fango nkata modime ya mari komi ajanta karambon nyin tamande la nyame ntasate jamal to ka dindingol tombon dindingol mel ya lonko wolle sulata de ma wala komi mel wata e wata dinkiral to mel ya lonko to kuloma waraje bage wo dindin sifal ngawle nyini nge samana karambon to je biri nge sambana je music lesson, music syllabus sketch out, and also academic one. So karamboni commence ta wala nyama dindin jamale nafa soto je mbe tembe mbento alen halisan dindin jamale be karankanje nte fon ka music ka demantara kalandiro la je koteke katum mbem fansun ko la bari ni sona la ku venyo kalamale hade music school ni ngabita kan hani sa be karam
Okay. Kanute okay. Kanute bio kay mom be loose kind all the time. But anyway, BUBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, ning Kanute be kachaka. So Kanute ya mo la be me fokan. So afanambe nun sona la music krambo to la be karandiro la je. So I'm BUBA, so it be min feral sort of milalo no koy bole ke kam pour kaje ko la music o abita nyato nyami coming ebedami. You know, are you intending to work with other Gambian musicians? You left learning musician o dole do ko from Gambia and in Milbe Bantala Bankoka. For Ibo Kekana, like komi ila master Uncle Sankung atabe no way. Sometimes a concert sort of ya commandi or Alaji Bakar commandi from another side or ya modo. Are you thinking in that direction? Yo miro sort of.
Oh yes, I mean that's very right. You know, more miro sort of back you know, it's like comes out on Tamil or and Jamfo, but no one thing natra you know comes out for Europe musical. Nini sang kumbe pangko killing, you know, obedi ala nye back program musical, better musical play kanyo kana hansai, and in Jelbakar fanang the same thing. And in fanang you know wato you know ning koku na wato masya bika ke barangan ne sangkung fanang kilo bende kana pro wat minsat na nai kosiro ke in Norway and fanang kilo baka ne wato wate ning cool tarafa miyalong ko ino ngasilo do soro jang ba invite la nan anin Jelbakar o other musicians you know but sangkung faso in the future ni balu be caring ni bebe baluri bajale Poland o inde Norway because ngaka chale because ngakilo be nyokane means that I know Purkani musical samanyaro because I didn't mambang, you know, because nga at me still to play with him still now.
Yeah, exactly what better. Sir for malam fay mol moy kanaba. Kanute?
Yes, mal mo kan sign.
Ay ba mol moy kana sign. So
yes,
yeah.
Na connection wala ka mess up.
So akakawala next time ibela bungla karo jibela la damiano ko reception on bereata so ibajala le. I hope we can have you the third time. This is the second time. We give you an opportunity today to talk to us more about yourself and the kind of music that you do. But coming now for Inyaming is important. You were talking about Allah selection or, you know, so Jubata Music School, Al Kadinde Tombo Nyaming, and how important that music school is. So now, Lafteta phone kala come like a phone music or Carola. What are the plans that you have in hand to work on you yourself as Kanute, as a musician?
Okay, so presently, I want to embark on studying music production. And then I will continue producing my own songs from there on. The Italian Denkel Jamal Bembululari in the Melialo Fundida, but then scientists focus on music production. I'm left the next step in the musical career, and then I want to become a producer. From there on, I will continue finishing my album or working on an album for that matter.
Okay, so right now you want to do music production, ilaftola karana, and then consider for where we get lale. Sirpo kanuta turn it into a producer. That would be, you know, that would be crazy because I hear that a lot of musicians, particularly multi-instrumental players, you know, they are always very good in music production. So technology, you know, you are also a designer, a print designer. You know, we did not also talk about that because you make brands for people in the Gambia. You are making logos, you are making brands, you are also making trademarks for companies. Ya jele sirfo ite mo koditi yolte nin copyright ho lota ite nan takela koditi bala tida sirfo kanot.
Graphic designing and printing. Way back in 1999, I joined a company called DBC, Dumbbell Business Corporation, and I have over 15 years experience in graphic designing and printing. Then by 2015, ngam fansundula eleka fume Wakilo Innovations. And Wakilo Innovations presently is we have uh, a whole list of clientele presently, because we always make sure na products all get quality in. Yeah, understand. So ikaje ko dinkra jamal bije o doku la jamal million ko ila doku sign e ka tambini na wakilo innovations la. So graphic designing and printing our keta quality melon ko ntenga son safu no ngana balu talante o be quality kabiringa high school bandron be
High
wala.
school of
So man bali na jali afana na but still
yeah,
I am
so
still into graphic designing and printing.
because yala ibulo onko sutela sometimes. Music union on registration card soul and in letterhead solding all those stuff. Italy card that no music union. That was the time. So, but TRRC la logo, it seems like Italy print because ibulo onko sutela sometimes.
Hade TRRC logo biriba ilafta dokula ye tenda like ka banku dingol commande funding kiol mele anon ko ka graphic designing ke mo jamale ma beta je pour ka logo ni create but alana ta ke entenga make create yo la tombon. So present the TRRC logo make I use ntela nga create from Wakilo Innovations.
Wow. Congratulations. I'm not surprised that yeah, because na safari nyajelon konfai kombarening ning sirifola letters all because you know I think the lab publications, even when I was working with this NGO, mola visibility promotional materials or come projects or ngamil beke itala ka be design. So I even forgot to wear this Gambian t-shirt, even print for the Scorpions. You know, I bought it, you know, and it was shipped to me here in Germany. So, but that was also your design. So, you are multi-talented, Silfo. So, we want to say, what is the way forward for Gambian music? Itanim Buba, we'll look at our last question before we close for the night. What is the way forward for the creative industry? Because ite ningomba for the music industry, abokola kombe bulakang dula kiline. Because ite be dula jamale, eka acting kele, eka music kele, eka printing and in design, graphic design kele. So it a component jamale in the creative industries. So what is your take?
Kalilu, is a very important question. Creative industry Gambia kono jam ila ko bala fa wara batale.
Yeah.
Mansa kunda ma bulo dun koto. Hani mansa kunda ma creative industry ma ko hani demanding. Komanto ikoye COVID phone le bondi $100 million. Out of that 100 million, only 5 million will data the entire creative industry. Well, out of that 5 million, only 250,000 will data music industry. So obalafanying awarata bakele. So creative industry in 2014, ite akalamodal Arterial Network in Tata South Africa, Cape Town. In the Minister of Culture, ayaita munda eko South Africa banda waro mentor ala economy over 75% be ila creative industry la ka dundi. So Gambia mawo tulaje e man nafaje e man muna be kere e malum fan creative industry ase mune nati no bankoka ni mune o sabu katum statistics la man soto e ma statistics soto pour ka long ko creative industry ka nyina nati bring a training ke last year with UNESCO on their debt periodic report
Periodic report
creative industry. Yeah, I understand. But then tourism has a bureau of statistics. That is where we should be submitting our products to statistically how much the creative industry is bringing in. No, the creative industry, there should be a statistic bureau. Me along ko wala nyanta ko ka koni kesen ka lonko ni creative industry kanyina nati. Tourism and culture, yes, is very good adu akakudo samana, but ni ajibe tourism and culture
me kunto servo na closing remark la di la bar say tata daming is very important. We have to dilate on that. Mimu problem oti tourism sector ye fenko sotole ye empowerment instrument sotole, that is a regulation. So regulation o nying wole be regulate kan, so ibaje kan physically in a fiscal year, in a year, so we regulate on nying registration on ning lancing solning everything mialon aka hani banana wafila mialon ka be Senegambia aka registration fee ni jole. But okay, come like when you come to the creative industries, the Copyright Act, a regulatory framework, because another regulation also the copyright regulation, that is the empowerment instrument. Empowerment instrument on walema enforce ama implement. So lancing soul and aka generate the economies within the creative sector. So ibukole fenke haimano, because of wadamane ba kindala no iba haimala ni malon jorol ka kenyami ibe haimaro kenola jadu ete haimaro kenola. But ni tata tourism industry momondi hotel ndi aka fi jole momondi be banana wafiro keka momondi e bitiko soto in the tourism industry area america fi jole. So iko collection all mil beke mi alon ko GRA Gambia Revenue Authority wol fanaka ma be wo kasabiro nyintole walakin ka long tourism sector ay la contribution of benyami. So the creative industry fanay was faleni. So walakin haimaro nyimbuka keno, so they cannot calculate it. So a low point on is very, very important through Gambia. So in some way, we don't need government, but we need government for at some point, especially in things like this.
Exactly.
You can continue. Yeah.
Masakunda nyantale kawo regulation and that Bureau of Statistics put in place. We nyantale your regulation, that is where we have Pura. You understand? Pura bijana Pura on the consumers, whatever. So creative industry niajibe tourism is culture and arts meya barakandi. It's not only the beach and the food.
Exactly.
So there can be a mechanism to put in place for kajeno ko creative industry akanyi ka haimano ka foko ekanyida dundenan sate kama.
So definitely kisi I spoke to the Gambia Bureau of Statistics. So there was a time NCAC gal approach le. So that is an indicator data, because of they need to go through the Copyright Act and also the cultural policy for indicators in data. But since then, both the ministry and NCAC never get back to the Bureau of Statistics, that is GBOS. So mansakunda GBOS londile purko indicators sifal data, so that you can be able to do those measurements like what you are talking about. Because UNESCO quadrilateral periodic reporting QPR Yamin conduct for the first time in the Gambia, wole for opportunity for the Gambia to be able to apply for the ICPD fund, International Fund for Cultural Development, Diversity, cultural promotion and diversity. So evidence-based data is more important than blindly predicting that you can generate millions in this sector when the government cannot be able to ascertain that, when investors cannot be able to ascertain that. But Uncle Badu Baskati Afajana some time ago, investors don't they don't go into a playground. They want to invest their money so that they can know that they will have profit out of that. So if they cannot be able to ascertain how the cultural industries of the Gambia can be able to generate or contribute to the socio-economic development of a country, if the department cannot present that, then government will not be able to put their money there, because government will say, oh, What are they going to provide us? If we give them 100 million, how many millions are they going to give us back? That is the question, Sirifo.
Hello, what was the question?
So I was saying, if the government did not know how much we are going to provide for them, do you think that they will invest in our matters?
Mansakunda nyanta dablo duna jele. Coming halfway nyame. Mansakunda nyanta dablo duna creative industry de korale ka make sure follow mechanisms are put in place to quantify the amount or the benefits that are coming in from the creative industry. Yeah, faham. Okay. Near Korosi until the CSG, that is the collecting society, until not training Jamal like with mentors from Malawi and Ghana. But we training be kola puru CSG fund officers of Pruka operationalized. Woman Keno. Ya fam kadu until bula no na postal kono ngam fansun kodo tanka ko kara officer lum fund. Ngam fansun kodo use like a meeting in cool organizing fire but wo kuko dan dul to Kenola. Signing collecting society man lo royalty man collect no selang molbe benefit la nyadi la the creators. Obe kole ala le. So what is for man sakunda step in. For man sakunda step in I mol makoi Kajeko mechanisms are put in place. Jibos bijele, remember, Jibos bijele, Jibos niko census sita. Amanke ko kordatio leke la mol konti asamba ya samba center I mean Bureau of Statistics. Ya faham. Amanke ko mtele jam kuran felatat. Amanke molke la kurota put eka statistics samba kasamba Jibos. They put mechanisms in place can make sure more later cordal or more kasabi. So why can't they put mechanisms in place? Long creative industry akanyina dundi. You don't have to say the creators to organize themselves to be able to bring in statistics of us.
Okay, I'm always proud of you, Sirifo, bro Carl. Thanks you. Makin Gas he's saying hi to you. And you know, Uncle Sankung is saying during the time of during the time of all tickets are obtained from the customs. Yamoela Uncle Sankung kamevo. Ako ticket sol beka bonung custom like well on GRA. So a percentage sort of like what we are just saying, tourism sector be hani be banano African je ikatiketo jole pour yetaro environment so bitikol mil be bije and hotel on mil be bije they pay fees but ikaje la jang promoter wo DJ wo artist wo is a musical telephone but kodo be na a beta artist oni but tax me alango wala nanda bolaje pour kata masakunda la carola aning lansing sol milano ko lansing and things like that. Maybe you know the music union, it has to go to the music union. So VAT nanta bola jele, value added tax nanta bola jele, or tax deductions nanta tarra jele. So we tax this on killing ekole kasabi. Then yadi mansakundala. So mansakundala lon no la ko kafoko, you know, creative industry fanal kandila contribute. Nko hani kani wafila al milano ko be sera kuna marseodo. Ika tiketo jole sango, ika duty nyi jole. So a strategy like that, ntel fana mole soto yambe wala manka problem o.
Yalan Kalilu, it's not about the musicians alone, but the instruments that are used. Nia Korosi from GRA, Poroto, music device jol lekatambije melka tax jo puri kaname wafi. Even mobile phones. People are using eka musical lama akonole. One mobile phone wafilal eka tax jole nikela production samana.
Exactly.
You understand? So
exactly.
CD bang flash drive bang mobile phone bang nilbe even TV found.
Exactly.
TV, those who are selling TVs, melka awodan from abroad akana poro rekele tax jo GRA nimbe kodo nyanta sotola membitala creative industry to. It's not about performance paying performance licensing and so, but the products that are coming in, it will be they use music and
Exactly.
and videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you cannot say mobile kaduna only mobile wifi la kuduldi. Mobile kono same more buka musical even on their CD players. It's all on
Exactly.
phone.
Exactly. Exactly.
So these people who are bringing in phones are paying taxes to the government. So they cannot say the creative industry is not bringing anything. Most people are using the only phones to listen to music and watch videos. So music
Yeah.
and video and films and everything, there is a way that these people are paying tax. So if they can because creative industry, music and video are also contributing. I hope that makes sense.
No, Antonia, Uncle Badu coming for tourism and creative sector are completely different. Antonia, the creative sectors, the creative industries, have function regulation on lesser. So there must be an enforcement in the regulations of the creative industry so that it can be as equal as the tourism sector. Because tourism sector, even creative industries, yellow regulation also, but it's not enforced to the latter. Because Ajibe, collecting society, collecting society, is an act of parliament. It's dormant.
Very dormant.
Yeah, very dormant. They don't even have an office. So Molbe Fogang is the, like tourism sector, at a regulation or everything is, okay. Because it's a banana wafila coming now for America. You cannot even sell a banana in the tourism industry area without paying tax.
Yeah, that's true.
So exactly. So kanute yajale walakinai atal sival kachal kabete but internet mall allow. So we already reached to the 2-hour mark and we are going more than that. So we want to thank you. But mbita buba ya jane programo kumfala nimbuba fana ediama fana yala tafo mimira. Then from there, we can close this. So buba.
Yep.
Buba yela keba moela eminfo sirfo kanute so itala kumala bon yamila mira mila natakela sirfo I kuma bal fo mila lon ko important bakela anuntel be molewol kachala nu jang mo jamale la mirol fo atabe do ko ke kan collecting society mila lon ko inanda pour ka kolol collect Gambian musician ol toyala malon nakila o kafo sirfo ala o kafo nyinga be nyadi la sign. So
sorry, Kafujuma?
Collecting Society, CSG.
Okay, Collecting Society. Last week, na President Almame funding talti. I message bulale ko I a letter of PJ Franco NCAC ko a lafta ni ben ni si mala lafta ngamune kacha. I will have to talk to my president Almame. Organize what is all that meeting is about. But in terms of it, what I'm coming traditionally, Kakenyame, ning association, creative association will be a new executive sort of congress can CSG dissolve. Probably they are calling us to go to Congress to dissolve. This is my own thought, but the letter didn't mention anything about that. The one left any CSG kacha. So
okay, so bita wala yalan lafta na bore buba ya domanding body yo dula me for andung wodula nyim for mu problem wolte because of every time near CSG nying dissolve rek mo kudol milkana will ka start le zero so wakamul murundi koma.
Had it? Well, I'm the near CSG other organizations creative organizations, tentatives to create a new CSG. So that means until not train it wouldn't be transferred to these people. We cannot transfer those trade we are going up. So those people and go for it will be like a routine executive training, so nothing will move. Anyway, let's see what they will say when we go to the meeting, and I'll keep updated on inshallah.
Okay, okay, abaraka bake. So Buba, yamila fo ila kuma labang comme Gambia music la Carola, yamira ko milena takela ma ko rol min takela comme like ne ko ite sifal yamila expect.
Nyinga comme ça, Gambia atale kujama atale milonje baka ni sirfo fane ya mumele fo atela lon ka tambende je baka nak, but the min fo no dal wolong is a bloodung artisol koto, because Gambian music or ne Gambia jibe, musician kende ba jamale bije, good musician or lebije, and musician nyenta bolonyo la ku kalamala ila purka nyoma koy aning comme ça sirfo ni bunda mi friending comme ça, ni official de kara mitino ke dami do tanding, pour artisol la ko, collective things, so nying fanambe kumata promolia mutaka londe ay bambang, akana because naka kana comme ça ya fanyami, molka kumas le kotenke zero, so Gambia musico in the tambila way bakela, aning purka nying kol kumase zero tending. So at least masakunda yenda ke blue dunjele aning fana musician fana ikambeng purka je kulita nyato, yeah, and this is the thing that is for no back and kambeng wala mga beti pro kabonyola ku kalama aning fanang ka ku sama nyato, masakunda moli along ko beta silola, pro nying ko be kada because ndolo frandal, sirfol be do ko mena je do ko kende balong anatol, bari inde fana sometimes ka group sambale from Europe to Gambia, pro way musical industry long media long ko, I bring a lot of people, together, to just about musical situation. So niaji be olbe mu incoming, incoming kodole kana Gambia, mi alon ko group olbe kono, so yende ka trale nak, yo ko londo mi alon ko, as a mol nyafano as musical industry.
Exactly. Abaraka bake comme ibo doko minke ka musicianol ta from Poland ke natina Gambia e kamola chosano karang anu ikalong na chosano benyamin. Abaraka bake. So atel mo flow be sirfo ila microphone be mutrine sirfo kanute laftala pruna programo nyin kumfa. So mbela flala pro ye badin konton ite na commencé itala kado itala computer
ke ba na boss
so nsa commencé itala ye badin konton ya fo programme ni na programme konfa
Okay, bake Kalilu nyin ko programme ko mayata bake la katum fo moli yet la soto be karisi la ka cool fo milan ko wala mun na sula quality o na kole a cool milan ko na creative industry be wala face kan no ante molte mol moy la kat tum yan ko nyanta lon atelon adun gambe be tu kam kumale bakul be bi takande fo nga don nga nyori ni etebe nyi me ke kan it's a step ahead. So you platform you try your best, you maintain the alpha command in a kachana million kun fanan kalamuta coming uncle binyol uncle sankunyol uncle langom
yeah uncle langom minata mbaso to
BADJIE nyol ekacha katum you'll be experience of it itamata adu mel tamata woka for atamata. I was surprised there was a time, if you can remember Moro Suso, akananu so kono, nabe kacha can bring a copyright move. Akone ko he, ako copyright bi balola Abidjan, Ivory Coast. Akone wente tarajele. Ako baru woman sakunda ko di chamale bondi. I had the musician le tata record soul dada. O record soul yo le play in the airways started collecting royalties. Yeah, akuna ko so atel kanyi kumo maka kutire nuwante nalialo jang bantalang kul de ba royalty be collect la natara ko almabea pour membe siala be Gambia la airwaves sul fandila. You understand? So I was so surprised such a local video has an experience in Capital because Tamatale abenu Ivory Coast le ayinu lonji
exactly. 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 Sirfo baraka baga. So Buba.
Yes.
Sirfo bortala kotang. So ila kumala bon family aning batufal ila batufal. Karun jaloni batufal long. So ni mom batufal la video kay mom ila kuma be fambulu de platform o fenal.
Yes, kuma sobe definitely. Ninka alhamdulillah tentu man say no be the follow content na itemi nyingkol be nyaton kaya right now.
Baraka bake.
Mbafule ale batufa man tambi de fonga no kadu momi e musico kano. Mobe bika jalo fanan kano kutun kano ni jalo bika teria.
Baraka bake.
So alhamdulillah mbe content na bake safo ya baraka bake. Ila doku kendo la alme nyong siala. Ane nuwo
Eka funya de la kuyate sama kera.
Kuyate sama kera no second babe kuyate yes. Kukubani bantamba.
Kuyate sama kera. Okay, no problem. Yes, so sa undanya la wala ha.
Exactly. So mbe sankun konton na skebama sankun jobade ani na sister Jacombay mbebe konton na ani na jalkunda ke brother solbe ani taradindi wol ngamil be tarakang ani dindi mal family be duma mbebe konton na ani mbemba to fa kendo konton na mbama min kita terma yabote be America Amadou Diallo be Italy batu fal siata te fono la han jamani je yaya sanyang kutubo Diallo asiata pa Lamin Sanyang sonde be fono lambe mo be kontona ani safo semin fono wala ngende ko Gambia nga nyomba kanoni badi yala musico nga sambanyato ani artist fo ne kambe ite fana be do ko min nga mutefe because natural fanten binde te sila jam ani sirfo fanten sila jam so nying is very important, very 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 important really. Abaraka bake KALILU
Yeah, baraka bake. Thank you so much, Buba. La police call sign will be safero okay kan. So Johanna, it'll be safero okay kan. So mbe jailam be tentula bake coming like ila nala jambi Gambian Talents TV benna boss pa os aning na technician ol milial no ko wala martaning program wala mbebe kontona
dogi ko ñul be exactly that's right
mbe la moy wal fana be kontona bake oncle Badu basket oncle Sanku Njobate afana be jibe kanne mbari musol makin mas aning Mariama Dumbuya will be kontonka will be lamoero la science so mbapule ko ala baraka bake almasu toto ya almasu baraka bake. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All our wonderful and esteemed viewers, this is the end of the program. Until we come your way next week, I am your host KALILU BANJA on your favorite platform, the Gambian Talents TV. Thank you for joining us, and good night to you all.
Gambian Talents TV, nyunule la doku seneyata. Gambian Talents TV, nyunule la doku betiyata. Gambia, ngala doku betiyata. Gambian Talents TV, nyunule la doku seneyata. Gambian Talents TV, nyunule la doku betiyata. Yeah, Gambia, ngala doku seneyata. Yo Gambian Talents TV njalam alnal badi malam nene jeli suso bintele bale jantonko alkal Gambian Talents TV la moy every day and night TV la mi yalla nako mashallah ila diamol kabet yalla la promotional kabet yalla wow ala baraka bake ala baraka fosila koteng.